So let us continue the body parts that involves in digestion. So after the mouth, we have the pharynx. So the pharynx, also called the throat, is a fibromuscular Y-shaped tube attached to the terminal end of the mouth. It is mainly involved in the passage of chewed, crushed food from the mouth through the esophagus. So sa pharynx, there is no digestion takes place. So there are three major sections of pharynx, which is the nasopharynx, the oropharynx, and the hypopharynx. So the nasopharynx, it is located at the top part of the throat and in the back of the nose, which is connected the nose to the respiratory system. So the nasopharynx contains adenoids which help prevent infection. And the oropharynx is located in the middle part behind our mouth, helps us to swallow or to crush the food. So next is the hypopharynx. So it is found in the lowest part of the throat. It is found behind the voice box that helps push food down into the esophagus for digestion. So pharynx, for short, it is usually called the throat, diba? So it is part of our respiratory system. Also in digestive system. Why it is part of our respiratory system? Because it carries air, and while in digestive system, it carries food and fluid down from the nose and the mouth. So next is we have the esophagus. So after sa pharynx, push ang food niya into the esophagus. So the esophagus, this is the muscular tube that connects the pharynx, which is part of an upper section of the gastrointestinal tract that takes food from the pharynx to the stomach. Still, sa esophagus, there is no digestion takes place. So for short, esophagus siya ang nagtransport sa food and fluids from pharynx to the stomach. It's because it helps to prevent the passive diffusion of substances from the food into the blood and to prevent the reflux of gastric contents into the esophagus. So next, we have the stomach. So the stomach serves as a muscular bag which is situated towards the left side of the abdominal cavity beneath the diaphragm. This vital organ acts as a storage for the food and provides enough time to digest meals. So sa stomach also, it produces digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid that maintains the process of digestion. So in short, our stomach holds the food and mixes it with acid and enzymes that continue to break food down into a liquid or paste. So after sa mouth, pass to pharynx, esophagus, stomach, and then goes to the small intestine. So before we proceed to the small intestine, remember that the stomach has three types: the mucus, the digestive enzymes, and the hydrochloric acid, as I mentioned earlier. So next, we have the small intestine. The small intestine, dito na natapos na yung digestion. So, it makes a part of the long pathway that food takes through your body called the gastrointestinal tract. So, when food leaves your stomach, it enters the small intestine, also called the small bowel. And then, the small bowel connects to the large bowel, also called our large intestine or the colon. So, our small intestine has three types, which are the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. So the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine as we see in the picture. Then while the jejunum, it is in the middle section. Then the ileum is the last and longest section. Why longest section siya? It's because here, the walls of the small intestine begin to thin and narrow and the blood supply is reduced. So after the small intestine goes to the large intestine. So large intestine, this is a thick long tube measuring around 5 feet in length. So its function is to absorb water from undigested food products and deliver waste to be eliminated. So as we see in the picture, ito yung form ng ating large intestine. We have the first as we see, the appendix, the cecum, the ascending colon, the transverse column, descending colon, through sigmoid, through rectum, and then to anus. So remember that large intestine, its function is to absorb water and changes the waste from liquid into stool. Thank you.